love Vinny on the call. They're so good, dude.
He is very good. I told him, welcome back to the Let's Go Fanatics show, by the way. We're talking about Vinny Rottino and Pat Murphy and just the vibes around the Brewers right now, because the vibes are immaculate. We're going to talk about the entire Brewers National Series today and their first 2 games against the Braves. So those are all 5 Ws that we have to talk about today. Lots of stuff to discuss, especially with that National Series. But we're going to hit the intro, and then we're going to have some fun talking about baseball.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
Okay, so the conversation that we were having was, I was not the name dropping kind of guy, but texting with Vinny Rottino, and I'm telling him that I was enjoying last night when he was talking with Prince Fielder up in the booth, because that was very enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And then I just told him right before we started the show, I'm like, we need more alliterative phrases for Pat Murphy's snacks. So Jake can start us off, but let's talk about Brewers Nationals starting with game 1.
So the first thing you have to take away from this game, because it went viral, is this game was on Apple TV. So, yes, another fake email account for me to watch the Brewers game. It is what it is. But Murphy's doing an interview. I don't even remember what inning it is. That's a nuance to the story.
That was between the top and bottom of the 3rd inning.
Okay, so that's exactly what it was. He pulls out a pancake and says he has a pocket pancake. And I'm like, what the actual fuck is going on right now? Why do you have a pancake in your back pocket, bro?
And he's not joking either. Like, he literally pulls pancake out, takes a bite. Shout out to the interviewer lady, by the way, too, because she fully committed to the bit. She took a bite out of the pancake too.
Yeah, she ripped the piece off and ate it. And I'm like, what? What is going on? I'm like, this team is just amazing to me, man. They scream Wisconsin, dude. But pocket pancakes is the vibe for the rest of the season. The first thing that I thought of, I'm getting chills because this is literally the first thing I thought of, is, man, Uke would have had a lot of fun with the pocket pancake clip, dude. He would have ran with that, and you would have probably got 2-3 stories out of Uke that would have just made you just actually chuckle from the belly, and it would have been amazing. But to the game that happened on the field, first, the Brewers put Churio on the IL, the 10-day IL on this day, and Brewers fans were a little, worried at first, but Blake Perkins said, just relax. I got this. And he steps up and shows why we don't have to worry. He got his first 2 homers of the year, his first and second, his first multi-home run game of his career. So congratulations to him. There was a bunch of people who got in with RBIs. I'm not going to name them all. You guys can go and read them. So I have a couple just random notes from this game. This is the first time in Brewers history that they are entering August with the best record in baseball. That was amazing to me when I read that. I was like, wow. Huh. We are quite literally. And there's that saying, I wish somebody would tell us when we're in the good old days, when we're actually in the good old days. We're in the good old days right now, people. So let's lock in, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's start filling up Miller Park or AmFam Field, whatever you want to call it. Let's start filling it up to the gills. Start supporting this team because, man, they deserve our love and our attention. This was Contreras' first ever 5-hit game. The Brewers also got 4 hits from Monasterio and Perkins. Obviously, I told you that 2 of Perkins' hits went over the fence, so that was a good thing for us. And this is the 4th time this year a team had 8 players with multiple hits. The Red Sox did it, the Padres did it, and the Mets did it. And this is the 2nd time this season that a team in the MLB had 5 starters with 3+ hits. Houston did it on June 18th. So the Brewers, I named those players. They had 25 hits on this day, which is the most that they've had in a game since 2010 when they had 26 versus the Cubs, which is hilarious. All good things happen against the Cubs. The Brewers had 8 players with 2 hits, 5 players with 3 hits, and 3 players with 4+ hits. This is the 8th game this year also where every starter got a hit for the Brewers. All 9 starters got a hit and a run. The Brewers have won 16 of 20. I mean, there's just stats for days, especially with this national series. Tyler and I literally could probably fill up a good 40 minutes of this show with just stats from the National Series because the Brewers went freaking buck wild. But it wouldn't feel right if we didn't talk about the starting pitching and the pitching staff in general. Now, obviously, Jose Quintana was the starter. He gave us 5 good innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. So he did his job. Grant Anderson, again, we talked about it last week. He's kind of working himself out of some high leverage situations. I don't think his location is very good right now. That's probably the thing that's hurting him the most is his location. He's getting hit pretty hard too. Ashby, he looked decent on this day. And McGee, obviously we're not really going to care about it at the end of the day because the Brewers ended up winning this one still by 7 runs, 16-9. But giving up 5 runs in 2 innings when you really were dominating this team is not a great look for him when he's trying to establish himself as a major league ball player. So that's something that we have to look at as well. But the Brewers scored in the 2nd, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, and the 8th. That is something that they've struggled with for years was scoring in multiple innings. Tyler and I talk a lot about stacking traffic, consistently putting pressure on players. You brought it up last week about who was it? Vinny brought it up, talking about how it must be terrible to face the Brewers as a pitcher. And man, when they're scoring multiple big inning runs against you in one game, just grinding you to death, and they're facing a national team like this is the worst possible matchup for the Nationals right now. They quite literally just want the season to end. You could tell. I mean, when you saw what happened against the A's last night. They gave up another like 20-plus hit game last night and had a guy hit 3+ home runs. So in 4 games, if you count 2 games versus the Brewers, which we'll get to, they've given up 3 guys with multiple home run games. That's insanity. They have quit on the season. They're done. They're going to come back to spring training next year ready to go, but the Nationals are done. So there's going to be a punching bag for people the rest of the year. I wish the Brewers had them again, but we did 6-0 sweep them on the season. But, the Brewers, they did their job on Friday night on national television. We got a viral clip out of it. We got a bunch of hits out of it, and it was great.
So the lineup comes out, and people are freaking out. There's no Sal. There's no Terang. Obviously, you mentioned Churio, no Churio, and no Isaac Collins in the lineup. So Lockridge just acquired, and Danny Jansen are getting their first starts. They both get their first hits. And I'm going to throw this out there. Lockridge, I think he showed he's got a little bit of pop. I don't think he's going to hit, a whole bunch of home runs, but I think he's got more pop than people gave him credit for when the Brewers acquired him. He hit a handful of deep fly balls in this game. And something I'm going to keep an eye on and maybe put a pin in. He did have 2 opposite field hits and stole a base. Jansen, he showed a little bit of pop too. That's why the Brewers went with him over Eric Haas. But I just want to throw this out there. Pat Murphy knows what he's doing. Like, again, we're beyond the point of, like, why are we questioning Pat Murphy? Like, obviously he won the Manager of the Year. Very solid chance that he back-to-backs it. And he's got more advanced scouting and analysis, not to mention a whole staff of people who are dedicated to working on these things, than any of us do. Whether it's us as podcasters, whether it's beat writers, whether it's just average fans, they have way more analysis and obviously face-to-face interaction with all of these players than any of us will ever have.
Mm-hmm.
So they know better. Hence, 16 runs without 4 of your best players in the lineup.
Yeah.
Now, Taylor and Wes, welcome back. Top of the first, couple runners on, nobody scores. Bottom of the first, leadoff double, comes in to score with 2 outs, and the Nationals have a lead in this game. The top of the second, Blake Perkins tied it up. That was his first home run of the year. It was actually a little over a calendar year since his last home run, so it was good to see that. And I gotta say, normally I do like the Apple TV broadcasts. They're normally pretty good, but Blake Perkins hitting his first home run of the day and being called Jansen, and then as he's crossing the plate, the announcer announces that the Brewers have a 1-0 lead, even though the Nationals scored in the bottom of the first inning. Not a great look. Not a great sell for what I think is normally a pretty good broadcast.
Yeah.
Top of the third, William Contreras made himself 2 for 2, both with hard hit singles. The first 4 straight hits, including Andrew Vaughn driving in another run. Caleb Durbin beating out a soft grounder, and then with 2 outs, Andre Monasterio missed a 3-run home run by like 4 inches. Who, like, again, cannot give enough credit to Andrew Monasterio for staying locked in, even though he plays like 15% of the time. Cannot give him enough credit for staying locked in. Settles for a 2-run double. Joey Ortiz drove him in with another double. Between innings was the pocket pancake interview, which still just one of the wildest things. And that's not even like a pregame thing. Like Murphy's not even joking around pregame. This is dead ass in the middle of a regular season game. Dude pulls a pancake out of his pocket.
Yeah. Brewers are like literally fighting for the number 1 overall seed. And he's just like, yeah, I have a pancake.
I'm just going to eat a pancake on live television in the middle of a 3rd inning of a regular season game.
What?
So Jose Quintana gets into a 10-pitch at-bat, gives up a solo shot. You tip the cap. It's a good at-bat by Paul DeJong. The guy's been around the league a long time, and he's been in the NL Central for a long time, so he's seen a little bit of Jose Quintana.
Yeah.
Did get makes getting Abrams and James Wood out on a double play. A double play right before that, more important because that could have been a 3-run shot for DeJong. The team's new nickname is the Murphy Stacks. Nice.
Actually, I kind of like
Simon,
that.
Simon, we buried the lead on that. We didn't bring that up that the Brewers came into today's show with 69 wins. It's in. We didn't say it.
I was gonna dude, trust me, I made sure to say it to Simon after the show yesterday, and then I was gonna say it when we talked about last night's game. That's just honestly, we told you guys. The 69s find us, dude. We don't look for them. They find us, okay?
They do. They really do.
And I got some things to say. I'm gonna save it, but go ahead.
Top of the 4th, William Contreras made himself 3 for 3. Bottom of the 4th, Jose Quintana was losing his command a little bit, gave up a hit by pitch and a walk with 2 outs. Top of the 5th is Blake Perkins' 2nd home run of the night. Just got Rake Perkins out here. Joey Ortiz had another perfect hit, his 3rd of the game, and William Contreras hit a grounder. A good job to hustle up 6. To beat out a double play. This is going to be a theme. I have it written in the margins of this game in capitals and bold. Hustle. The Brewers are up by 6, and William Contreras is beating out double plays. That's an exemplary thing. That's a leadership thing, in my opinion, and followed by driven in run. Christian Yelich drove him in. That wouldn't have happened without William Contreras hustling to get to first base. So it's like I said, it's just one of those exemplary things, the leadership thing from William Contreras, who is seeing the ball better. Andre Monasterio in the top of the 6th inning with 2 outs. The Brewers are up 7 with 2 outs, and Andre Monasterio beats out an infield tapper up the 3rd baseline. Again, just the hustle. Bottom of the 6th, Grant Anderson allowed a couple runs. He is a likely candidate in my bad, and Simon said my bad. It's all good. Like I said, we kind of buried the lead. We should have brought it up when we started the show.
Yeah, you good, bro. You good.
Like I said, Simon, it's in the description, so you're good. I do think Grant Anderson is a candidate to get less work once Shelby Miller is ready to go, but we'll discuss that when we get to the end of the show. Top of the 7th, Brendan Lockridge got his 2nd hit. William Contreras got his 4th hit, was a home run, and then the Brewers reload the bases, add a run, and then thanks in part to 2 errors and a soft hit by pitch that like just barely grazed. And then Andre Monasterio singles another run in. Joey Ortiz gets a fielder choice to drive in another run. So the Brewers just scoring runs in tons of way. Thanks, Alexander Hartlob. Called us studs. What a nice guy. I've never met that guy before in my life, and he's just calling us studs. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Who is that guy?
Yeah, just a random dude just popping in to call us studs. Top of the 7th. Sorry, bottom of the 7th. An infield tapper gets between the pitcher and first base, goes for a single. Next batter, same thing. Andrew Vaughn grabs it and dives to first base to record an out. Mind you, the Brewers are still up by 7 runs. And Andrew Vaughn is diving to first base to record an out after 2 infield singles, or after an infield single and a tapper to the same spot.
You know what? You know the thing. I'm gonna interject real quick. You know the thing I thought when I saw that? I was like, Andrew Vaughn is having fun playing baseball again. That's literally what is happening. He's having fun playing baseball, and he's like, I'm about to dive for this out, even though we're kicking their ass.
And I think I would take it a step further in that he is in a place where he feels appreciated. Like, we are all excited that Andrew Vaughn is here.
Yeah, for sure.
We are all loving how well he's playing. And I think he feels that.
Yeah.
Or just like I said 1,000 times before, the biggest advantage in a small market is the people. So, top of the 8th, another hit for William Contreras, his 5th, like Jake said, his first 5 career hit game. All 5 of his hits were 101.8 or higher exit velocity.
He's crushing the ball. Dude, we are so good. We are so good. We were calling this like 2 weeks ago, bro.
2 weeks ago. Yep.
We were like, dude, he's starting to hit the ball harder. He's starting to hit the ball to right field. He's starting to see the ball better. And boom, he has a 5-hit game. I'm like, God damn, we're good.
We are good. Yeah. Nicely done by us. And then Andrew Vaughn, again, another bomb, his 6th home run in 17 games, half an inning after diving to first base to save an out. Like you said, he's having fun playing baseball. Yeah. He's appreciated where he's at. This is good stuff from the Brewers. Top of the 9th, Andre Monasterio got his 4th hit. That gave Milwaukee 25 for the game. And just, it's awesome. It's awesome to see. 2 other things that we got from this game on 2 pitchers, one of them being Jose Quintana, who started this game. He said he was happy that he wasn't traded at the trade deadline. He wants to be here. He said, quote, the last day of the deadline was really hard. The last 2 hours, you don't know what's going to happen, but I wanted to stay. I wanted to finish the season here and win here.
Dude, love that guy. They can never make me hate you, Andrew Monasterio. Never make me hate you.
So I loved hearing that from Jose Quintana. Taylor said it's like you guys are freaking wizards or something. I don't know about wizards, but I will settle for knowing ball.
Oh, I don't know. Being a wizard could be pretty sick, honestly, if you think about it.
We do occasionally have wizardly things happen.
That is true. Just like the number 69 just always follows the show. I don't understand what's going on anymore.
That might just be
start off as joking, but it just happens.
Okay, not to like keep patting myself on the back for it, but I'm probably never gonna live it down. Like predicting the Brewers to trade for Nick Mears.
Dude, that was insane. I can't believe you did that.
Bill asked, with Vaughn playing so well, what do you think will happen with Hoskins when he comes back? He is a power bat off the bench, and he will ride the bench until Vaughn stops being superhuman.
That's probably the right thing and what's going to happen, honestly.
Yeah. And
Hoskins will play out the rest of the year and then
not be a Brewer to give Vaughn a couple days off.
Yeah.
Dan, welcome back. The other thing that I drew from this game, Quinn Priester was interviewed during the game, and they asked him what has helped him flip the switch going from Pittsburgh to Boston to Milwaukee, where his career is completely changed and taken off. And he talked about journaling. And I just want to throw this out there. That's something that Corbin Burns used to do, whereas Quinn Priester is doing it more pregame and, kind of directing, his attention. Corbin Burns did it after games and was more reflective. But just something I wanted to throw out there with Quinn Priester, that's something that's helped him out. So good for him. Going to game 2, Sal Frelick back in the lineup. He starts it off with a double the day after a day off. William Contreras drew a walk, and Christian Yelich gets down 0-2, rips a single, and the Brewers are up 1-0 already. Isaac Collins, him after the day off, he rips a single, and the Brewers are up 2-0 already. And Blake Perkins makes it 3 straight singles, all to right field, makes it 3-0. And just part of that rally starting off the game were 2 of the guys that were off the day before.
Yeah.
That's where people are talking about the Brewers being relentless, that they can give guys days off, give you 25 hits, have the guys who were off yesterday come in, and then nothing changes. Everybody's just right back to hitting. It's a team effort. That's put a pin in it. We're going to come back to it. Bottom of the first, Brandon Woodruff, right after the Brewers start up 3-0. Woodruff comes in, 8-pitch, 1-2-3, and we're back to batting. Joey Ortiz had a leadoff double. Sal Frelick already on his second at bat gets his second hit. The fourth run scores on a ground into a double play. But top of the third, Christian Yelich, his second at bat, he gets his second hit, which happens to be his 21st home run, and it's 5-0 already in the top of the third inning.
Yeah.
The bottom of the third, the Nationals got a couple back. The top of the fourth, Sal Frelick was taken out as a precaution. He was out of the lineup until today. So Sal Frelick is back in the lineup for tonight's game. Top of the seventh, Andrew Vaughn extended his hitting streak to 8 with a single up the middle. And then we get to, obviously, outside of the home run, Brandon Woodruff was very good. His last pitch was 96.3 miles an hour that he threw. That was the fastest pitch that he has thrown since September 17th of 2023.
Yes, sir.
That was pre-shoulder injury, and I think that was from his complete game that he threw that we were at.
Yeah. Hey, we're in the photo. We're underneath the Gatorade dump. We in the photo.
Pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, had the 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, his 4th quality start in 5 starts. The Brewers tacked on 2 more in the top of the 7th to make it 7-2. Abner Uribe is pitching anyways because he hadn't pitched since July 28th, the first game of the Cubs series. So he's had plenty of time off, which is great. Something that we haven't discussed a whole lot in this entire Nationals just insane hitting spree is that the fact that we got to give the A bullpen tons of rest to the point that they were put into games when we were winning by a bunch just because they needed to work.
Yeah, but that's crazy how different the season has gone. Like we played 2 different seasons in this one season.
Yep. The second game in a row that everybody was on base. William Contreras didn't have any hits, but he did draw a walk. Yep. So what did you have from game 2?
We covered a lot of it. So I'll just cover the stuff that I have that you don't have. So Woodruff obviously was fantastic. Since he's come back, he has really been a difference maker. So this one was a road game. These are all road games lately. So they're 5-0 on this road trip, and they've won 20 of the last 26 road games that they played up to this point, which is absolutely filthy. I don't care who you're playing. Winning 20 out of the last 26 games is nuts. At this point, they were 30-20 on the road. So literally 2/3 of their wins have come in the last 26 games, which is crazy. They were 6 for 18 runners in scoring position, so they were very good again in runners in scoring position. Going back to Woodruff, Woody came back while the Brewers had a record of 50-40. They were 4 games behind the Chicago Cubs for the division. Since he's come back, the Brewers are 17-4.
Damn.
Holy shit. That's why I said he's the difference maker. Yelly was 3 for 4, 3 runs, 2 RBIs, a home run, and 1 walk. He was on base 4 times, so he was elite. 5 players with 2 hits, 2 with 3+ hits. Woody has dominated DC for a long time, and I said that he turns into Superman versus DC. I was trying to make a little joke there, even though it's not very good. He is 5-0 with a 1.50 ERA in 9 appearances, 63 strikeouts, and 5 walks in 48 innings. 63 strikeouts and 5 walks. I want you to think about that. That's like thinking of an Aaron Rodgers touchdown to interception ratio, bro.
That's 12.6 to 1.
That's exactly. It's like thinking about Rodgers touchdowns to interception ratio, bro. It's fucking sick. It just makes you go, wow. In 5 starts this year, Woody is 3-0, 37 Ks, 4 walks. He had 3 of those walks in 1 game. He had 1 walk this game. That's 9.3 strikeouts per walk. And he has a 2.22 ERA with a 0.64 whip. The guy is absolutely dominating. And on top of that, his fastball and slider in this game specifically were both about 1 mile per hour faster on average. So he's starting to get it up, starting to tick it up a little bit. In this game, the Brewers had 15 hits. In the Friday night game, they had 25 hits. That's their 4th double-digit hit game in the past 6 games, which is sick to think about. You add the 25 hits on Friday to the 15 that they had on the Saturday night. 40 hits is tied for the most to start any 3-game set in Brewers history. 40 hits in 2 games is filthy. So really the player of the game to me was Woodruff. He was dominant in the offense, gave him support, and the Brewers went on the road again.
All right, let's go to game 3, the Sunday game. What did you take away from game 3?
Yeah, so to start the day, we hear that the Miz is on the 15-day IL. So I actually wanted to talk about something that I heard and we can have a discussion about it if you'd like. I heard that in the contract for Mizorowski, there's a clause in there that if he wins Rookie of the Year, that the Brewers lose a year of team control. And that is why they're putting him on the 15-day IL, because he currently is the leader for the NL Rookie of the Year. I don't know if you got thoughts on that. I didn't look it up.
I have a few thoughts. So what I took away from Mizorowski going onto the 15-day injured list was he had the ball that hit him in the shin. They said he had a pretty big bruise from it. Mizorowski himself said that it didn't feel great standing on it. It didn't respond the kind of the way that he wanted to. This is kind of one of those things, firstly, where the Brewers are beating the shit out of everybody that they're playing. So you can be extra overly cautious, like they're doing with Churio, like they're doing with Frelick. They're giving guys extra days off just because they can, because they're still winning.
Yeah.
These are a couple injuries that I think some of these guys would have played through if they were, neck and neck with the Cubs or, on a 3 or 4 game losing streak.
Yeah, and they were fighting for like wild card or something like that. I 100% agree.
The other part of it is they are very, very closely monitoring Mizorowski's innings.
Yes, that's the other.
This was, to me, a way to give him 15 days off with no innings pitched to potentially move his timeline back.
Yeah.
Wes, it's just one of those things when you talk about contracts, just kind of one of those things that can help you make money.
Yep.
It can help you make money. It can help you get to free agency sooner. These are the kind of clauses that agents would be like, hey, this guy is going to be really good. He throws 103. He's going to have a shot to win Rookie of the Year when he comes up.
Yep.
Let's put a deal in there. If he signs with you, that if he wins Rookie of the Year for you, that he can get to free agency a year sooner.
Yep. Just one of those tactics that, try to get him to free agency sooner. Like you said, try to get him big money sooner. So
I'm not 100% sure if that is in there, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was the clause in a contract.
No, me either. And like I said, I didn't look it up, but I did see somebody breaking it down, talking about it earlier this week. So
Alex said, give him Rookie of the Year. Honestly, I think there's a different Brewer that has a better case for Rookie of the Year, and it's the guy that won Rookie of the Month. Which we're gonna talk about Game 3. Then we're gonna talk about Isaac Collins.
Yeah, he's only 5'8", but he hits monsters. He's just a stud. I was gonna. Never mind. I'm gonna.
Speaking of studs, Logan Henderson.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Brewers put one rookie pitcher on IL, and then they're just like, surprise, we got another one of these motherfuckers. So Henderson goes out there, and when I heard that Henderson was a replacement, I was like super jacked up, because like I'm looking forward to Mizorowski starts, obviously, like everybody else, because I'm like, dude, I gotta watch a guy throw a baseball 100 miles an hour multiple times today. It's gonna be so sick. And then you enter Henderson, who's a completely different type of pitcher, just as nasty. If you're a real baseball fan and you watch how these guys dictate the ball game with the baseball. And Henderson, he was really good. I mean, he had a couple walks, a couple hits, but to give you 4 1/3 and a spot start and 1 earned run and 4 Ks, dude, once he gets he just needs to go into the lab and get a third pitch.
Yeah.
He gets a third pitch, he's going to be a fucking problem, dude.
If they teach him a cutter and he has fastball, cutter, changeup,
over.
Enjoy that.
Yeah, it'll be over.
We have the second coming of Brandon Woodruff. Sweet.
Yeah, his fastball's really, really good too. He's really good at placing it. His command of it is just tremendous.
Also, real quick, hold the phone. Brandon Woodruff is 30 years old, and they just added a sinker to him while he was rehabbing his shoulder. He comes back from a shoulder injury. Now he's got a sinker. So now he's got 3 different types of fastballs and a big-ass curveball. Like, okay, cool. Like, enjoy that. Sorry for putting against us, but have fun with that. Our dude who finished 5th in the Cy Young voting in 2021 also has another new pitch.
Hey, credit to Woodruff, man, for going through all that stuff and still adding stuff to it.
And adding a new pitch.
Yeah, that's impressive when you really think about it.
Also, side note, the sinker is what makes Quinn Priester so good. The Brewers were like, stop throwing 4-seamers, throw more sinkers, and now all that dude does is get ground balls.
It is literally all he does. He's a stud.
Unless you're playing the Dodgers, then he strikes out 10 dudes. But
just
continue.
And he just never mind. So Ashby pitched really good. Hall pitched good. Anderson and hit in relief of Hall. Pitt got a couple outs, And the thing that you have to talk about now, obviously, we could talk about Bryce Terang having his first career multi-home run game 2 days after Blake Perkins has his first career multi-home run game. Talk about how Yelich just continues to produce. Could talk about how Lockridge had 3 RBIs. He's a rookie, by the way, that we stole from the Padres. How he had 3 RBIs today, and he has 9 on the year. So the guy's just literally, we're just going to take everybody's players that they don't want. They're going to come over here, and then they're going to start producing. That's how this is going to work, because we play a really fun brand of baseball. We hit for contact. We steal bases. We have pocket pancakes. We strike you out, and we let you fucking know about it. Okay? That's what we do. And you want to know why that I think the Brewers are having such good luck? Because they have a retractable roof, man. And I am so goddamn sick and tired of teams not having a retractable roof. And the baseball gods are looking down on us like, you know what? Maybe we need to send a message. We need to make the Brewers the best.
I'm not mad at it.
But Joey Ortiz and Bryce Terang both having 4 RBIs. Two of their RBIs each were with 2 outs. So that's tremendous for me. Another day where they hit good to a runners in scoring position, 5 of 14. And the rest of my notes really is just totality stuff from the series. So I'm going to let you go, and then I got some totality stuff afterwards.
So Brewers just get right back to hitting. William Contreras starts an opposite field single. Andrew Vaughn hits a single. Yelich hits a single, and it's 1-0, 4 batters into the game. Mm-hmm. 4 batters in, the Brewers already have another lead. Top of the second, Bryce Terang with 2 outs hits a 400-footer, 105.6 miles an hour off the bat to make it a 3-run lead. That tied his career high at 7.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Spoiler alert, I'm going to give you some Bryce Terang numbers when we're done talking about all 5 games.
Oh, yeah.
The offense was quiet then until an 0-2 single by Andrew Vaughn with 2 outs in the 5th inning. They bring in a left-handed relief pitcher to face Christian Yelich, and he hits an opposite field single. And then after that, we get to the top of the 6th. Blake Perkins draws a walk. Caleb Durbin rips a single, and they both start running. Throw goes behind Blake Perkins, gets into center field. Both guys advance. Then a sac fly. Caleb Durbin steals third. That throw goes into left field. He scores. And Joey Ortiz draws a walk. Tags on a fly to left field. Got to third on a wild pitch, but was stranded. The top of the 7th with 1 out. The Brewers had 7 straight guys reach base. 7 straight. Yelich walk, Collins single, Perkins walk, Caleb Durbin hit by pitch, Lockridge single, Joey Ortiz single, and then a new pitcher, Bryce Terang, hits a 2-run home run, or his second home run, and the Brewers put up a 7 spot in the 7th inning. So, love that. That's fun. And then what I would think is interesting. I think Aaron Ashby kind of helped spark this rally. Mm-hmm. So Aaron Ashby comes into quite a rally, slams the door with 1 out, man on first, and a run in, facing the top of the order. He strikes out Abrams with 3 nasty sinkers. 1 of them called, 2 of them swinging. And then he strikes out James Wood with 3 more. 1 called, 1 fouled, and 1 called. Both of them could have tied the game at that point with a home run. Ashby struck them both out. I think that kind of woke the Brewers offense back up, because then they went 2-7-2 in the next 3 innings in scoring runs. The final one was loaded the bases with 1 out for Joey Ortiz, who ripped a 2 RBI double. Almost a spectacular play by their left fielder, but it got down. I will say I think Henderson looked really good. I'm glad the Brewers didn't trade him. Jake mentioned the 4 1/3, 3 hits, 2 walks. I think the 2 walks are an opportunity for him to be even better. Did have 4 strikeouts, only allowed 4 hard hits the entire time that he was in the game. So, West, the smallest on the market, but the top tier ballpark. It's awesome. I hope they just keep renovating it and keep fixing it, and just keep playing in it. Yeah. So let's talk about the Brewers and the National Series as a whole. I'll let you start ripping stats, because then I have a bunch more, and then we'll talk Brewers Braves.
Yeah. So at this point, this is just stats for after the National Series. I know that they're updated to after the Braves' first 2 games as well. But at this point, after Game 3 of the Nationals on Sunday afternoon, the Brewers have the best record in all of MLB. They have the best road record in all of MLB at 31-20. It's 33-20 now. They have the best run differential in baseball. Now, we're not high on run differential. Really just saying this because we want to talk shit to Cubs fans because they always pointed to the run differential. But I was like, please let us get the best run differential so I could talk some more shit. At plus 119 at this point, I believe it's up to 124, 125 or whatever.
124 sounds right.
At this point, they had the 5th most runs scored in baseball at 555, and they have the 4th least amount of runs given up at 436. They're literally the only team in the top 5 of both. During day games, they're 31-20. During night games, they're 36-24. You can update that to 38-24. In one-run games, they're 20-13. In extras, they're 4-3. They're literally above 500 in every scenario you can think of. Against the East, 14-7.
I'm pretty sure they're number 1 in record versus teams over 500 also.
Yes, they are. They are 14-7 versus the East. You can update that to 16-7. They're 17-12 versus Central, 13-9 versus the West, 23-16 in interleague play, 46-33 versus right-handed pitching, 21-11 versus left-handed pitching. Remember when that used to be a thing?
That used to be a thing, yeah.
Remember when lefties used to be a thing? Yeah, not a fucking problem now. We're going to mash you. So I have a few player stats and then a little bit more of Brewers national stats. Player stats, I wrote down stats for Yelly, Vaughn, Contreras, Perkins, Ortiz, and Terang in this series. Yelly was 7 of 13, had scored 6 runs, had a home run, 4 RBIs, and 5 walks. This is in 3 games, by the way. Vaughn, 6 of 15, continued to extend his hitting streak, by the way, which is still currently alive. Scored 3 runs, had a home run, 3 RBIs, and a walk. Contreras, 6 of 16, 5 runs, a double, home run, 2 RBIs, and a walk. These are all in 3 games. Perkins, 4 of 15, 5 runs, double, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and 2 walks. Joey Ortiz, who we were kind of getting on because his plate discipline was getting pretty poor there. He might have turned another corner. 6 of 14, 3 runs, 3 doubles, 6 RBIs, 1 walk, only 1 strikeout.
That's
nice. Terang, who only played in 2 games, 5 of 11, 3 runs, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs, 2 home runs. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude, they're dead. Now, one last thing I'm going to talk about. I wrote down the hits, walks, strikeouts, and runs for both the Brewers and Nationals. The Brewers had 56 hits. Everybody's heard the stats. You know, that was, the most in a series.
I have more.
They had 14 walks, so they averaged 18.6 hits per game, 4.6 walks per game. They had 22 strikeouts, so they averaged 7.3 strikeouts. They scored 38 runs, so they averaged 12.6 runs per game. Hits, the Nationals had 24. Mind you, they had 15 in the first game. So they averaged 8 hits per game. Walks, they had 10, so they averaged 3.3. Strikeouts, they had 23, so they averaged 7.6. And runs, they scored 14, which would have matched our total from the game 3.
Out of those 14 runs, 5 of them came in the 9th inning of the first game when the Brewers were up 16-4. They came against Easton McGee. So outside of that bottom of the 9th, when Easton McGee gave up 5 runs, they scored 9 runs total.
Yeah.
So most of my stats are more team-centric. 56 hits is the new franchise high. The previous was 52 from August 6th to August 8th last year versus Atlanta, and June 29th through July 1st of 1999 versus the Cubs, LOL. Every starter reached base in all 3 games. That is only the 2nd time in franchise history that has happened. The last time that it happened was 1985. The 38 runs is the third most in a series in franchise history, the highest since they scored 40 versus the Cubs in that series in 1999. That 56 hits is the most since the Brooklyn Dodgers had 57 hits versus the Pirates from June 23rd to June 25th of 1950.
Damn.
The Brewers in these 3 games had 53 at-bats with runners in scoring position. Oh. The Brewers had 72 base runners in 3 games. I don't give a shit that it's the Nationals, and honestly, I don't give a shit that the A's are beating the hell out of them too. This is a Major League Baseball team. You had 72 guys on base in 3 games.
Oh,
That's ridiculous. I don't care if that happened against last year's White Sox, who were the worst team in baseball history. 72 base runners in 3 games is ridiculous. They had 81 outs. 81 outs in those 3 games.
damn.
And they had 72 base runners.
Damn.
For the series, 151 plate appearances. That's an average of 50 at-bats per game.
Jesus Christ.
For the series, the Brewers, as a team, batted .424, .477, .667 with an OPS of 1143.
Ooh.
Yeah, Cam, 72 base runners in 3 games.
Ooh.
They batted .462 on balls in play.
Ooh.
You mentioned they had 22 strikeouts.
Yeah.
They had 18 extra base hits.
Jesus Christ. My God.
A 3-game span. They had almost as many base runners as outs and almost as many extra base hits as strikeouts.
Damn, son.
They only went 1, 2, 3 in an inning the entire series once. It was the top of the 4th inning of game 3.
Whatever the hell's in those pancakes, they need it in Chicago next week.
Yes, yeah. Cam, as we promised, we were sharing stats over the weekend and saying like, hey, when Wednesday rolls around, we're gonna have more. It's insane stuff. This is only the second season, or sorry, not the only the second. This is the second season sweep of 2025. The only part is that they only have 6 in their entire franchise history. 2 of them have happened this year. One of them is the really bad Nationals, and the other one is the defending champion Dodgers.
Yeah, with the $1 billion roster. Yeah. Yeah.
That's where we're at. People are cool. Brewers are lucky. No, the Brewers are taking care of business.
Let me say this. I think the Brewers beating the Dodgers in Milwaukee kind of got people going like, And then when they came out of the All-Star break and they whooped that ass, those were good baseball games. In LA, I think people were like, okay, maybe we should look over here. Maybe we should pay attention to this. And then they did this shit to the Nationals. Now everybody's looking. They know that it's real.
Not to mention they took 2 out of 3 before going out to Washington.
Yeah. I mean, this team is on fire. And you know, they're on pace right now to take, you know, have 6 straight wins and, you know, sweep the Braves and then come back home and play a really shitty Pirates game.
Okay, so let's start with Brewers and Braves game 1. Quinn Priester, 1 pitch, 1 earned run. Obviously not the way you want to start. With 1 out, had a hit by pitch, but he responded basically as well as you could possibly hope. I mean, he was asked about it after the game, that, you know, what he wanted to do to bounce back, and he said exactly what he did. He ended with 7 innings pitched over the next 89 pitches, only allowed 1 hit, and it was kind of a bloop double that Joey Ortiz almost made a crazy catch on. He did allow 2 walks, had 4 strikeouts, but a ton of ground balls. Like we said, we kind of talked about it a little bit. Quinn Priester, when the Brewers brought him over, they basically told him to stop throwing the 4-seamer and throw the sinker more. And he's basically throwing fastballs that just obviously sink a little bit. They're a couple mile an hour slower, but they get guys to be on top of the ball and beat it into the ground. So Quinn Priester has now become a ground ball machine. Yep. And obviously it's paying dividends for the Brewers. Cam's still smiling about the Dodgers season series. Cubs fans are trying to be like, oh, just can't wait until the Dodgers sweep the Brewers in the postseason. And it's like, dude, the Dodgers don't want to see the Brewers.
They don't.
The Brewers put belt to ass on them 6 times, and our 4th best starter struck out 10 the last time we played. They want no part in a series of the Brewers.
Yeah,
not that anybody does, except maybe the Mets, but
the Mets are the only team that scare me, honestly.
So they were a Juan Soto home run in the 9th inning away from being no hit today by the Guardians, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So back to Monday. Top of the 4th, the Brewers had the hit and run on. Andrew Vaughn hits a ground ball to the shortstop. Shortstop can't get a play on second because William Contreras was running with the pitch. Tries to make a play at first, and Andrew Vaughn was originally called out Murph challenged it. He was ruled safe, and Isaac Collins, with 1 out, 2 batters later, hits a 3-run home run on a hanging sweeper and yanked it to right field. Absolute no doubter. But again, just hustle. Hustle, Murphy making a good challenge, and Isaac Collins hits what basically became the game-winning hit. Brewers ended up winning 3-1. And this came on the back of Isaac Collins being named the Rookie of the Month for the National League for July. So the Brewers have back-to-back on that, by the way, now. Mizorowski won it for June, and Collins won it for July.
Can I jump in with this third inning stuff?
Go for it.
It's a majority of my notes because that was basically the offense.
Yeah.
Contreras, his at bat when he got hit by the pitch was 6-pitch at bat. Vaughn, his infield single was a 6-pitch at bat. So now you're at 12 pitches already, and you got no outs. You hit a guy and you got an infield single. So this is what Vinny's talking about when he's saying that they're grinding up pitchers. They're grinding pitching staffs. Yelly, he had a fielder's choice on 3 pitches. So keeping track at home, you're like, damn, this guy's got 1 out. He's got 2 on. He's already thrown a bunch of pitches. And then Collins, his at-bat was also 6 pitches. And he hit a hanging sweeper over the fence, crushed it, like you said, an absolute no-doubter. So you're at 21 pitches for the inning, and you got 1 out, and you're down 3-0. Or you're down 3-1. Sorry, 3-1. Profar hit that home run. And he ended up throwing 31 pitches in this inning, and it's like, dude, he threw 31 pitches because the Brewers got hit by a pitch. They got an infield single, and then they crushed a home run over the wall. This is what they've been doing all year. People want to say they're lucky, they're getting this, getting that. This is what they do every single game.
I pulled it up, and I just re-looked it up to make sure I had the most accurate information. When you bring up pitches per at-bat, the Major League Baseball average is 3.86.
Okay.
So essentially, anytime they see 4 pitches in an at-bat, they're seeing more than the league average for pitches per plate appearance. So you bring up 2 6-pitch at-bats, those are already long at-bats. You know, the 9, 10, 11, 12s, you know, get the more like, ooh, like a big rally in tennis or something. But the 6-pitch at-bats, that's already longer than a pitcher wants to see a batter in the batter's box.
And there was 3 of them to get the 3 runs. That's insane, dude. Like they're literally grinding these pitchers into
and Cam, like we said too, like that's where the relentless word gets talked around, because the Brewers have a bunch of guys who will grind at bats like that.
Yeah.
So the only other things that I really had from this game were the 8th and 9th innings.
Yeah.
Abner Uribe gave up a leadoff walk, came back to get a really good strikeout looking. Did allow a single to put the tying run on first. Joey Ortiz made a nice snag on a line drive, and then a great defensive positioning on that play. And then a deep fly out for the third out for Abner Uribe to not allow any runs. Bottom of the 9th, Trevor McGill comes in, 1 pitch, 1 out, 3-pitch strikeout, 3-pitch ground out, 7 pitches, and we're done.
Yeah. So things that I took away from this game, also Collins, that was his 35th RBI and 7th home run of the year already. I mean, the guy has some pretty good pop. If he plays a whole season and gets as many at bats as he needs, he could be a 15 home run guy, 15 to 20, I would say, is about his range. He's going to give you elite defense and he's going to give you hustle. So they did it again, Isaac Collins. And for people saying that he kind of came out of nowhere, he was pretty consistently in the top 20 to 25 prospects for the Brewers over the last couple weeks.
Jay McBlake loved Isaac Collins last year already.
He was there. If you did your homework, he was on the list.
Yep.
He wasn't a household name or anything like that, like Jackson Churio or Mizorowski. But again, if you paid attention, he was on the list. Quinn Priester, talked about him a little bit. He had the 7 innings. He absolutely dominated. 21 of 26 first pitch strikes for Quinn Priester.
Love that.
Abner Uribe, 3 of 5. Trevor McGill, 3 of 3. Trevor McGill has thrown 10 straight strikes in a row. He threw 7 for 7 in this game against the Braves.
Oh, that's right.
And he was 3 for 3 against the Cubs.
Yeah.
He has thrown 10 straight strikes. The guy hasn't thrown a ball in a week, dude. It's crazy. So if you add all that up, 79% first pitch strikes versus the Braves. They were absolutely filling up the zone, dominating the zone. And of the outs that Priester got, he got 6 fly balls, 11 ground balls, 11-2 record. They've won 11 straight or 12 straight
12
decisions.
12 straight
decisions.
Quinn Priester starts.
Quinn Priester starts, and this Brewers team, the vibes are immaculate. Just another way that they win ball games.
Yeah.
By pitching and defense and getting the one big hit that they needed to. They don't have to score a bunch of runs every single game, which is what makes this team good. They're up to 68 wins after this one. So
yeah, pitching was absolutely locked in game one.
Yeah.
Game two, what did you take away from last night's game?
Well, my first takeaway is that yes, Freddie Peralta is still good, and yes, Freddie Peralta needs to get his pitch count under control.
Yeah.
So both can be true. I'm sorry if you don't feel that way, but Freddie Peralta still is, if not the best, one of the best pitchers on this roster, which is a crazy discussion that we get to have on our own team. When you look to a team to a south, when they clearly know who their best pitcher is, and he shoved, and they still lost. So that's hilarious to me. Freddie Peralta, 5 innings. He threw 108 pitches, I believe it was. He had 4 hits, 1 earned run. The 3 walks is really what gets him in trouble. It's a little excessive. And the 7 Ks. So strikeouts, obviously, you need at least 3 pitches for that. And then the walks, you need at least 4 pitches for that. So you're getting a bunch of pitches right there. If Freddie can just get us into the 6th, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, he's going to need to get us into the 6th. But he was still good enough to get a win because he's 13-5 now. He's got the most wins in baseball. So
just want to jump in on Freddie real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
He was fighting his fastball command. Now, you can bring up that it was raining. I will say, sure, that's fine to bring it up. Yeah. But I do want to give him credit because his changeup looked really good.
Yeah, and his changeup was bad the game before.
I mean, if you want to bring up rain as an excuse for why his fastball wasn't great, but he was still able to command his changeup, I would just say that it wasn't his best day with his fastball.
Yeah.
And his not best day was still 5 innings of 1-run ball.
Yeah, which is crazy. So, got that going for us. Mears comes in, does give up 2 hits in the walk, but he does his job for the most part, gets a strikeout. Ashby, command issues again. The Brewers had 10 walks given up by the pitching staff. That's getting into the area where it's like, all right, guys, this is enough fucking around.
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, obviously you'd rather have 0, but you're not gonna have 0 every single game. So I would say aim for 3. For the whole pitching staff, if you have 3 walks, not hurting yourself too bad.
If you can be in a position where you don't have your best stuff, because I think Ashby was fighting his fastball command too.
Yes.
He gave up a single and 2 walks that loaded the bases, and then a 3rd walk forced a run in. He did lock in for a strikeout after that. Cam said he agrees about Freddie, that he needs to get his pitch count down. I mean, we had those couple games where he was throwing 5-6 innings and he was only throwing 86 to 90 pitches. If he can get through 6 innings on like 90 pitches, that's the sweet spot right there.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot.
I will say, of the 4 hits that Freddie Peralta allowed, 2 of them were dribblers up the third baseline in the first inning by left-handed hitters.
Yeah,
So it's not even like there was a defender to be able to try to make a play. Lefties hitting dribblers up the first baseline, there's really not a ton you can do about that.
Basically like a swinging bunt, yeah.
And that's 50% of the hits that he gave up.
Yeah.
Like you said, the walks are obviously a problem, but in the first inning with 2 on and 1 out, he relied on the changeup versus Olsen, got a strikeout, and then a changeup, fastball versus Michael Harris to get 2 strikeouts to end that inning.
Yeah, the strikeout he had on Michael Harris was filthy, by the way.
Yeah.
Michael Harris.
Fastball looked great that at bat.
Yeah, Michael, when the batter gives the pitcher the look when they're walking away, they got fucked up. That's just point blank period.
Yeah.
In terms of the offense here, I had to write this all down because, again, the Brewers are not lucky. This is just what they do, bro. So Perkins leads off the inning with a hit. Then Perkins gets on base. Jansen flies out. Perkins then steals second base, which is important in this scenario because then Ortiz ends up getting an infield single. So now we have an infield single with a stolen base. Then Contreras flies out. Durbin gets a walk. So these guys, dude, this is 6 batters, and this is like every scenario in baseball has happened at this point. Yelly gets an infield single. So now we have 2 infield singles, a walk. Then we get a wild pitch that scores a run. And then Vaughn hits a single off a 12-pitch at bat
Yeah.
to extend his hitting streak to 11, which ties his career high. During his career high hitting streak, he has 4 homers and 14 RBIs. He's raised his batting average from 204 to 240.
Damn.
And then I wrote on there, I said, oh, he's also hitting 429 during this 11-game hitting streak, if you wanted to know that little nugget. If you blink during this inning, the Brewers were up 4-0. It was like, this is what we've been doing. A couple infield singles, a walk, fly out. We're gonna foul some pitches off, wild pitch, home run.
That's the relentlessness of it. Because like you look up and down the lineup, you mentioned that all the guys that loaded the bases with 1 out. Christian Yelich was down 0-2.
Yep.
Got to 1-2 and then got his infield single. And I would contend that Andrew Vaughn at bat was one of the at bats of the year. A 12 pitch at bat, like we just said, 3.86 is the average numbers of pitches per plate appearance. So after 4, you're above average in how many pitches you see. So when you start getting to that 5, 6, 7, 8, you start getting a pitcher to like, fuck, what can I throw that he's gonna swing and miss at, or get an out? What can I throw to get this guy out and get out of my batter's box?
Yeah.
12 pitches to get an RBI single. And like you said, extend his hitting streak. So anything else you had on last night yet?
Yeah, so I just wrote down in the 6th inning, Terang singled, and that scored Collins to get the game to 5-1. And then Collins was like, you know what? I like getting RBIs too, not just scoring the runs. So he ends up getting a single the next inning, which scored Ortiz and Yelly and got the game to 7-1. And at that point, the Brewers and the Brewers fans are kind of in cruise control, like, our pitching's too good here. We're not really going to give up 5 runs. We haven't done it a lot this year. Really, I honestly cannot remember the last time they've given up 5 runs in anything. If you were going to ask me, I can't remember. It honestly might be the Yankee series. I'm not fucking kidding you.
Yeah, Cam, absolutely. That's what it is. I want to give credit. I'm going to give credit to one Braves hitter, Eli White. He had a really great at-bat in the 2nd inning. He had an 11-pitch at-bat. Freddie got him to fly out. In the bottom of the 3rd, Freddie did allow 2 walks. The second was an 0-2 to a 3-2. And then the bottom of the 4th, Eli White did get Freddie Peralta yanked the solo shot. Freddie's good for one of those every once in a while. That's not an uncommon thing. The big part about it is when Freddie gives up home runs that there's not guys on base. The top of the 6th, Jurickson Profar on a hit by Isaac Collins, charged in too far. You know, you'll hear it in baseball every time a fly or a line drive is hit at an outfielder, that somebody's going to say the toughest ones to play are the ones that are hit right at you.
Yep.
It's true. It's true. You know, and you expect line drives to sink at some point, but the one that Collins hit was one of those ones where it's like, okay, that's a line drive, and you're expecting it to sink at least a little bit, and it just keeps going. And Jurickson Profar decided to compound it by doing an awkward gymnastics move where he landed on his face after jumping to catch a ball that was 2 feet over his glove.
Yeah, those PEDs didn't help him with better decision making.
They helped him in his first at bat against Priester, and then nothing since.
Yep.
So Collins, good hustle to get a triple. Bryce Terang followed up with the first pitch with that liner up the middle to drive him in. Bottom of the 6th, this is Nick Mears' only 2nd appearance on this entire road trip. This is the 5th game of the road trip, and this is only the 2nd time that Nick Mears has had to pitch. Gives up a double. I will say Isaac Collins did not take the best angle. He's been playing primarily left field, and he was playing right field last night. Just kind of one of those things where you're playing a different position. And then a Tapper infield single, followed by a walk to Ozuna, which is not the end of the world. You had a base open, second base was open. Walking Ozuna, not the worst thing in the world. Then he struck out Jurickson Profar again. Jeff Levering kind of said that he didn't think his breaking stuff was looking great. I thought his breaking stuff looked good, especially the last pitch that he threw to get the strikeout on Profar. Top of the 7th, you mentioned Isaac Collins getting in on the RBIs. 3 walks with good at-bats by Joey Ortiz, Christian Yelich, and Andrew Vaughn with 2 outs. Isaac Collins with a single up the middle to give the Brewers a 7-1 lead. And then the bottom of the 7th is when we talked about Aaron Ashby fighting his command a little bit. Overall, 69th win for the season, which is just Nice.
Mama's the Mia for sure.
Dude, we get to we get to come into the show with the Brewers winning their 69th game.
Yeah, that's elite.
So, just want to throw a handful of things out there before we are done for the day. The Brewers play tonight. Tonight is their third game against the Braves, and they have off tomorrow. They play Friday through Sunday against the Mets, and then they play Monday through Wednesday against the Pirates. So we will have 7 Brewer games for you next week. But I just want to throw out 3 things. So we talk about the way that the Brewers are as a team. There's nothing that really is like, oh, the Brewers, they hit a ton of home runs, or the Brewers have 2 top 5 Cy Young guys like we knew has been the case in the past. But you look at just some of the, not even the more advanced things, just some of the things that are true. Like the Brewers are 5th in baseball in 2-0 counts. They're also one of the lowest teams in swing rate. So the Brewers, they are patient. They want to make your pitcher throw pitches to make your pitchers uncomfortable. That is an intention. They are intentional about making your pitcher uncomfortable. And then on top of that, they don't strike out.
Nope.
The Brewers are going to put the ball in play, whether it's outs or hits. The Brewers are 5th in baseball in contact. So they may not be, number 1 in anything, although they are number 1 in stolen bases. But like, there's nothing where it's like, oh, that's how the Brewers win. It's like, okay, the Brewers just raised the floor so high on everything that it's hard to beat them at anything.
Even when they're at their lowest, yeah.
So like you take away, the power. The Brewers are the only team in baseball that have a positive record in games where they don't homer.
Yep.
That's not a coincidence.
What are they, 23 and 22, right?
Something like that. And I think the Giants still have the second best record at like 16 and 24 or something like that.
Yeah, they're the Brewers are the only team at or above 500, and they're above 500 now.
In games that home runs. So the Brewers are good. That's not luck. It's not beating bad teams. The Brewers are good.
Yeah. 2
things that I looked at that aren't being talked about enough. First is Bryce Terang. Bryce Terang, not having a little bit of regression on his defense, but we're not talking enough about how well Bryce Terang is playing at the plate. So I pulled up his 2024 versus his 2025 numbers. His batting average in 2024, 254, 2025, 276. On base percentage, 2024, 316, 2025, 341. Slug went from 349 to 383. His OPS went from 665 to 724.
Oh, wow.
He had 24 doubles last year in 155 games. He's got 20 this year. He had 7 home runs last year. He's already got 8. He did have 50 stolen bases last year. He's only got 20 this year. Been a little more conservative on the bases. But his hard hit percentage went from 24.7 to 45.3. So Bryce Terang doing much better at the plate this year, in addition to still playing probably Gold Glove. I don't think he's going to back-to-back the Platinum, but still playing Gold Glove level defense.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I want to throw out there, I want to give Joey Ortiz, it's not even that it's to give Joey Ortiz love. It's just to give him a break a little bit. So what I did is I pulled up Joey Ortiz's age 26 season, and I compared it to Orlando Arcia's age 26 season.
Okay.
So if you didn't know this off the top of your head, which would be impressive, the age 26 season was when Orlando Arcia was traded from Milwaukee to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. He was batting .091 with the Brewers in the first 4 games of the season. He ended up playing 36 games in that season total, whereas Joey Ortiz has played 110. So there's a bigger sample size for Joey Ortiz. But Orlando Arcia slashed 198, 258, 309 with a 567 OPS that year. Joey Ortiz is currently batting 220, 274 on base, 317 slug, and a 591 OPS. You look at OPS plus, Orlando Arcia's that year was 51. Joey Ortiz's this year is 67. So I'm not saying that 2 years from now that Joey Ortiz is going to be an all-star. I wouldn't wouldn't rule it out. I mean, it's possible. He's got the tools. But we talked about for a long time, like if Arcia could just bat like 240, with his defense. Joey Ortiz is getting there. His batting average is going up slowly, but it's going up.
I think Joey Ortiz is on the Bryce Terang arc, dude. What was Terang like when he was young? He didn't hit very good average, and he gave you really, really good defense. He would have stretches where he'd be pretty good at the plate. He would steal some bases. He was fast, and he was a young kid that was talented. That's exactly how I feel about Joey Ortiz.
That 2023 season, they had a month where they sent him down in June.
Yeah.
Cam said he'd take a team of young, talented, hungry players and put them with great coaches and a great atmosphere. You get the 2025 Brewers. Absolutely. And sprinkle in a couple of savvy veterans.
Yeah.
On your point on 2023 Terang, he batted 218, 285, 300 with a 585 OPS.
Dude,
granted, he was 23 at the time, and Ortiz is 26. But, I mean, 26 is not this is not who Joey Ortiz is going to be for the rest of his career. Like, I don't think we need to trade Ortiz. I don't think we need to DFA him or send him down. I mean, people just got to be a little bit patient with him. It doesn't help that everybody else around him is just fucking raking.
Right.
It makes him the odd man out,
Right.
but he's still giving you the elite defense and obviously somewhat below average batting, but it's not that bad. And I think if it was Orlando Arcia with the same numbers, people would have a different feeling just because Arcia was fun and, it was fun to see him smiling and having fun and he hit the occasional bomb. Joey Ortiz is giving you that.
Yep.
So I just wanted to give him a break. Other than that, like I said, we have 7 Brewer games next week. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys, Wes, Cam, Taylor, Dan, Alex. Thank you guys for the comments. Simon for jumping in. Thank you guys. We will see you guys next week. Until then, go Brewers. Hopefully the lead is bigger.
It wasn't for